In this town, no one ever worked in silence. Every hammer strike, every sweeping broom, every rolling pin and needle played a note. Together, they formed a living song, a melody woven from purpose, pride, and joy. They called it the work whistles, and when the town played together, the world listened. Eloise loved the music more than anyone. She didn't just hear it, she saw it. Colors curled through the air like ribbons, harmonies shimmered, rhythms danced. But Eloise had a secret. While everyone else carried a work whistle, hers had never appeared. And in a town where everyone had a song, being silent felt like being invisible. Tonight was special, the evening chorus. Once a year, the entire town gathered, not to compete, but to combine. No soloists, no spotlights, just 100 different callings becoming one symphony. Eloise watched from the edge of the circle, wondering if she would ever belong inside it. Eloise's favorite place was her grandfather's workshop. Once it sang louder than anywhere else in town, 100 clocks, ticking, chiming, harmonizing like a heartbeat. But now, silence. Her grandfather gently lifted a dusty tuning fork from the shelf. "When a calling goes unfound," he said softly, "it's like a note missing from the world's song." Eloise didn't know why, but she felt the quiet growing heavier. On her way home, the music stopped. Not faded, not softened, gone. Eloise followed the silence to a workshop at the edge of town. Inside sat Oakley, a retired woodsman with tired eyes and heavy hands. He carved toys that didn't glow, didn't sing, didn't dream. This was what silence looked like. Oakley hadn't always been silent. Once his axe sang with the forest's rhythm. He listened to trees, felt storms before they came, knew which woods needed rest and which were ready to give. They called him the maestro of the maple. Then one storm took everything, his grove, his song, and when the music stopped, Oakley stopped listening. The evening chorus began, but something was wrong. The deep rhythm of the forest was missing. The harmony thinned, and into the quiet spaces, something crept. The quiet, a gray hush that dulled colors and dimmed hope. Eloise knew whose note was missing. Eloise had never been brave, but courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. She stepped into Oakley's silence and asked, "Could I be your apprentice just for today?" Oakley scoffed, then sighed. "One day," he grumbled, and that was enough. Oakley tried carpentry. The chair leaned, it wobbled, and it stayed silent. The carpenter's chisel hummed gently, almost apologetically. Oakley turned away in frustration. Eloise didn't look at the chair. She watched his hands, and she began to draw. At the bakery, the dough refused to rise. The rolling pin played a ridiculous, sad note. A few people laughed. Oakley didn't. Eloise kept sketching. Roots, circles, steady pulses. Not what Oakley did, but what he felt. Oakley stared at her drawings. Forest veins, deep rhythms, living roots. "It wasn't about making things," he whispered. "It was about listening." For the first time in years, Oakley heard something again. They returned to the broken grove. The trees stood silent. The earth felt tired. Oakley closed his eyes, but the song wouldn't come. Then Eloise inhaled and hummed, deep, earthy, steady, the sound of roots remembering how to grow. The forest stirred, leaves trembled, roots glowed. From Oakley's pocket, his small whittling knife began to shine. The song wasn't coming from him, it was coming to him. Eloise wasn't creating music, she was helping the world be heard. Oakley didn't lift an axe, he lifted a sapling. As he planted it, a new work whistle formed, a gardener's trowel glowing warm and steady. His calling hadn't ended, it had evolved from woodsman to steward. The evening chorus returned. Oakley stood beside the gardener, adding a deep, healing rhythm. The quiet dissolved, colors rushed back. The song was richer than ever because it had been broken and healed. Eloise smiled from the sidelines, then felt warmth in her hand. A conductor's baton of crystal and light formed, tipped with a perfect human ear. Her song wasn't loud, it listened. She stepped into the circle, guiding, blending, lifting others. She was the keeper of lost whistles, the harmonizer. That evening, Eloise sat beside Oakley on his porch. He carved a small toy whistle, one that played a tiny echo of her melody. Eloise smiled. She no longer wondered if she belonged, because some people aren't meant to play the song. They're meant to help the world remember how to sing.